Hi guys, welcome to episode 3 of the EV side. This week's episode is I live in a flat and I own an electric car. So often when you tell that to people, it's well, how do you charge? Or have you got a home charger? I completely live off public charging. Now, I will say there is one caveat. I do have access to a private charger at work, so I'm very lucky in that respect. But I live in a flat. It was a bit of a gamble buying a electric car, purely living realistically on public charging, but you can do it. Now, obviously, if I was living in a house, I'd have a home charger and obviously access to everything else. So that's your ideal situation. But anyone thinking that you can't actually live off public charging, you can. I've been doing it for about 3 months now. I've never found it difficult. You occasionally get ones that are broken or not quite working, but you also have the other benefit where sometimes they're on free then, so you can also get the benefits of it as well. I would say even on public private charging, my monthly bill of doing approximately I would say probably about 300 plus miles each week. That's 70 miles round trip for work, 5 days a week. I paid about £50 to £60 in electricity for running my car. Now, bearing in mind, I was running a Nissan Qashqai before. That would cost me approximately about £200, £250 a month plus tax, plus road tax. This doesn't cost me anything like that, so I've saved a vast deal of money in that respect. But this episode, I want to show a quick, fun little video about my journey to work, a little bit of charging, and just a general chat about public charging in general. I think there's a lot of misconceptions around public charging, so I wanted to go through that as well.
So we're starting at 85 miles on the range and approximately 65% in the battery, with about a 35-mile journey each way. So I do about 70 miles each day to the office and back. Work, 62 miles left and about 45% on the battery. Time to charge.
Hi guys, so you'll have seen the video of my journey to work. It's quite a standard journey by any car, whether it's electric or engine cars. So it's 35 miles each way. I started this particular journey around 85 miles in there, and I had about 60 miles or so left when I got to work. Now, the main reason for that is realistic, decent driving, and also regenerative braking. Now, anyone that doesn't know about electric cars, most electric cars have regenerative braking, which means that as you pull up to a junction, or you brake, or you slow down using the accelerator or the brake, you regenerate electricity back into the battery. So the battery will regenerate from that, and generally you'll have apps with a phone like mine. My BMW i3 has an app and tells you how efficient you've driven, which obviously helps the range and the battery, but also helps how much energy you get back as well, and it will tell you how much energy you've got back. So they're pretty intuitive when it comes to actually showing you how you've driven and what benefits you can do by driving better. Now, I wasn't necessarily a lead foot in the Nissan Qashqai, but probably a worse driver in that. I would say electric cars generally make you drive that much smarter and better. You're probably more conscious about the range is one, but also I think it just generally is a nicer drive. So you generally don't tend to have that noise in the background, so it's not a horrible journey. It's quite a peaceful, relaxing journey, to be honest. Anyway, so charging wise, public charging specifically, I live in a Hertfordshire area near my town. I have access to 8 public chargers, that's 3 locations with 8 across all of them. They range from about 30p a kilowatt, and my average charge can be about £2. So, generally parking is free while you're there as well. So if you park and you charge, £2 later and 2-3 hours, I think maximum parking, your battery's full. So if I don't charge at work, which I generally do, so I'll go to work, I'll charge on top up, really, not really fully charging, and I'll do that on a daily basis. But when I'm not in the office, I use complete public charging. If I'm travelling longer distances, which there'll be future videos around doing, you use the superchargers. So whilst they're not as powerful as, say, the Teslas, which are great at 150 kilowatts, which really pushes a lot of energy in, which those cars can take, my car on average, if I can top up my car in about 30 to 40 minutes at one of those. So if you're going away and you're stopping, then generally you're sitting there having a cup of coffee anyway. So why not charge in the same amount of time? Relax while it does that, and the app again tells you when it's full, or how it's charging, or what the status is as well. So there's lots of benefits to that. I was very nervous, I think, about buying an electric car. I've looked at doing it for the last 2 years, and I just made the jump. My old car was up for renewal, and I thought it's now or never, so I just went ahead and done it. Like I said, really nervous because I don't have access to my own charger at work. It is pure public charging, but again, hasn't been a problem. And yes, I do use our work charger, which I'm very thankful for our work for providing that. But if I wasn't working there, I'd charge it elsewhere. There's plenty of chargers. You go on Zap Map, for instance, an app that shows you where all the charging points are across the country for different cars and different plug types. There's more than enough, and that is growing over the last 2 or 3 years. It's grown by thousands. They're growing a couple of thousands each year, and we know that both Shell and BP, the biggest oil manufacturers, they're starting to roll out EV points in their garages. I believe Shell are even looking at doing a dedicated EV garage as well, purely for electric cars. So it's changing. Everything's changing. The infrastructure is getting better on a monthly and a yearly basis, and that will only improve. The amount of cars, electric cars sold over the last year has gone up 2%, which may not seem a lot, but for EV cars, that's massive. Nissan has helped that. Tesla has obviously helped that, but every manufacturer now are producing an electric car, and if they're not, they probably should be. I believe in probably 5 to 10 years' time, the whole landscape of cars in general will change. There's a lot of misinformation out there about what EV cars are like and what the range is like and things like that. It's just not an issue. My i3 has a range of about 120, 130 miles on a really good day. That's more than enough, and the average person as a whole doesn't spend that much time in a car and doesn't drive that far. Mine's probably the minority of the country in that I have a longer journey each day, but the average person just doesn't do that. So if you're on the fence about driving an electric car, I would recommend just going and doing test drives. Test drive as many as you can to make the right decision. It's a big jump and it's a lot different, but when you do, I guarantee it's definitely worth doing. On the other side, we've got different charge types. You generally have on most electric cars AC and DC. AC is more slower, so it goes up to around 7 kilowatts. And then you got DC, which use the superchargers, which is around 40, 50 kilowatts. Mine takes 50. They're obviously a lot quicker. The way to look at charging an electric car is the first 80% of it will be really fast no matter what you do. And it's like, I've been told it's like pouring water into a big glass container. The first sort of 3/4 goes really quickly, but as you get towards the top, you have to slow up because you don't want to overspill. The same principle comes with charging an electric car. So I'll have more about charging, more about different things in the coming episodes. In May, coming up, we've got the London Motor Show. And if it's anything like the other motor shows, then generally I think it's going to be about 80% electric cars this year. So that should be really exciting, and I'm hoping to show loads of stuff from that. If you've enjoyed this episode, please please subscribe. If you feel like throwing me $1 on Patreon, please do so. You don't have to. Please follow my Twitter account as well. That's at TheEVside. I really hope you enjoyed this episode, and hope that you come back. Great, thanks very much.
Thank you.